And happening today in Fulton County, rapper YFN Lucci expected to enter a plea and be arraigned on charges related to blood gang activity, including murder.
When YFN Lucci voluntarily surrendered to the cops in 2021, people were already thinking he was going to jail for life. However, he has finally been sentenced, and his plea deal has come as a shock to most people. What has been more shocking is his reaction in court to his sentence. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through how YFN Lucci reacted to his sentencing in prison. Plea deal.
All right, Mr. Bennett, based on the presentation of Ms. Christian, the Assistant District Attorney, I find that there's an adequate factual basis for the charges against you. More importantly, based on your responses to her questions, I find you're entering your plea in this case knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily.
Born Rayshawn Lamar Bennett on February 16, 1991, YFN Lucci grew up in the heart of Atlanta, a city known for its vibrant music culture. From a young age, he was drawn to the world of hip-hop, finding solace and inspiration in the beats and rhymes that filled the streets. Determined to make a name for himself, YFN Lucci honed his craft and began releasing mixtapes that caught the attention of industry insiders. It wasn't long before YFN Lucci's talent and unique sound started gaining traction. His mixtapes, such as Wish Me Well and Wish Me Well Too, showcased his raw talent and storytelling abilities, resonating with listeners who connected with his honest lyrics and relatable experiences. The streets embraced him, and his fan base grew exponentially. As YFN Lucci's popularity soared, he caught the attention of major record labels, eventually signing with Think It's a Game Entertainment. With their support, he released his debut studio album, Ray Ray from Summerhill, in 2018. The album received critical acclaim and solidified YFN Lucci's position as one of the hottest up-and-coming artists in the industry. But just as YFN Lucci's star was shining brightly, a storm was brewing on the horizon. Unbeknownst to him and his fans, he was about to be thrust into a legal battle that would change the course of his life forever.
And happening today in Fulton County, rapper YFN Lucci expected to enter a plea and be arraigned on charges related to blood gang activity, including murder.
Lucci was accused of being the driver in a gang-related drive-by shooting. This incident, which took place on December 10th, resulted in the tragic death of one man and the injury of another. The Atlanta police soon announced murder charges against Lucci, who turned himself in to authorities shortly after. According to the cops, it all began on a fateful night, December 10th, when YFN Lucci, along with other gang members, drove through rival gang territory. The tension between these rival gangs had been escalating for some time, and this night would prove to be a turning point. As the car made its way through the rival territory, tensions were high and emotions were running wild. Inside the car, two individuals, fueled by a dangerous mix of rivalry and aggression, decided to take matters into their own hands. They opened fire, targeting their rivals with a hail of bullets. The sound of gunshots shattered the silence of the night, sending shockwaves through the neighborhood. The rival gang members, caught off guard by the sudden attack, quickly retaliated. In the chaos that ensued, innocent lives were forever changed. James Adams, a 28-year-old man, was struck in the head by the gunfire. The impact was devastating, and he was forcibly ejected from the vehicle. As the car sped away, leaving a trail of destruction behind, James Adams lay lifeless on the road. But the violence didn't end there. Later that day, another victim emerged. Kevin Wright, a 32-year-old man, arrived at a nearby fire station with a gunshot wound to his abdomen. Despite the pain and trauma he had endured, Kevin managed to seek help and receive the medical attention he desperately needed. His survival was nothing short of a miracle, but the scars, both physical and emotional, would forever remind him of that fateful night. As the investigation unfolded, the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. Ravon Boyd, a 23-year-old man, was identified as one of the occupants of the vehicle during the shooting. Alongside Boyd, a 17-year-old juvenile was also charged in connection with the incident. Both individuals were apprehended in Miami, adding another layer of complexity to this already shocking story. The authorities wasted no time in pursuing justice. A warrant was issued for YFN Lucci's arrest, charging him with murder, aggravated assault, participating in criminal street gang activity, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. The rapper, whose real name is Rayshawn Bennett, turned himself into the authorities, making headlines across the nation. However, YFN Lucci's attorney, Drew Findling, has vehemently defended his client, stating that a thorough review of the initial evidence provided no basis for any criminal charges. Findling maintains that Bennett is innocent and will fight to clear his name. The legal battle that lies ahead promises to be a contentious and closely watched affair. However, that would not be the only charges against YFN Lucci. In the summer of 2021, news broke that YFN Lucci had been indicted in a racketeer-influenced and corrupt organization's RICO case. case. The RICO Act, a federal law enacted in the 1970s to combat organized crime, was being used to target YFN Lucci and his alleged associates. The charges included drug trafficking, money laundering, and acts of violence. The evidence presented against him was substantial, painting a grim picture of a rapper once celebrated for his music now entangled in a web of criminal activities. As the case unfolded, more details emerged, painting a picture of a complex and dangerous world. Lucci was not just facing one murder charge, he was implicated in a drive-by shooting that claimed the life of 28-year-old James Adams. The incident sent shockwaves through the community, leaving many wondering how such violence could occur. But the story didn't end there. Lucci's case was also connected to a larger racketeering investigation in Atlanta. The supposed rival gang involved in the case was YSL, the Blood Set, which Young Thug, another prominent hip-hop artist, was accused of leading. The intertwining of these two high-profile cases added another layer of intrigue to an already sensational story. As the legal proceedings continued, Lucci found himself in a precarious position. Denied bond, he was held in custody, unable to escape the looming uncertainty of his fate. The weight of the charges against him, including the possibility of a life sentence without parole, hung heavy over his head. But then, a glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon. Negotiations began, and Lucci was offered a plea deal that would significantly reduce his potential sentence. The deal, however, came with its own set of consequences. By accepting the plea deal, Lucci would have to plead guilty to participating in criminal gang activity. It was a difficult decision to make, but Lucci ultimately chose to accept the plea deal. The prospect of a reduced sentence and the opportunity to avoid a life behind bars proved too enticing to resist. And so, on that fateful day, Lucci stood before the court and entered his guilty plea, forever altering the course of his life. The plea deal, which sentenced Lucci to 10 years in prison, was a bittersweet victory. While it offered a glimmer of hope for his future, it also marked the end of an era. The once promising career of YFN Lucci was now overshadowed by the dark cloud of criminality. YFN Lucci's lawyer leaves no stone unturned as they passionately advocate for their client. They begin by shedding light on the personal background of YFN Lucci.
Mr. Bennett is 32 years old, and of course we've been to you through the course of years. We've been together on this case with Your Honor for years. He is the father of 4 children, who he assumes the task, the welcome task of being their sole provider, and he takes that seriously.
The lawyer emphasizes the immense responsibility Bennett carries as the sole provider for his family, a duty he takes very seriously. But this defense goes beyond mere words. YFN Lucci's legal team has conducted extensive research to build a solid case.
We've talked to literally corporate executives in California about him. We've listened to his music. We've been talking to these jurors about listening to rap and hip hop, and we have spent countless hours watching videos and listening to his music, trying to see the connection it has to the case.
They have even enlisted the expertise of the best professionals in America to analyze the lyrics and the alleged gang involvement. However, the crux of the argument lies in the events of December 10, 2020. YFN Lucci's lawyer urges the court to hearken back to the hearings held on that fateful day. They highlight the stark contrast between the state's explanation from 3 years ago and the description presented by Ms. Christian, a member of the prosecution team. The lawyer credits Ms. Christian with providing a more accurate account of the events, which significantly impacts the case. To further bolster their argument, YFN Lucci's legal team has enlisted the help of top civil engineers in America. These experts meticulously analyzed the events of December 10th, revealing a shocking revelation. It becomes clear that determining who initiated the shooting is impossible with absolute certainty. In fact, the argument can be made, based on expert testimony, that other individuals involved in the case were the ones who instigated the violence. But that's not all. The lawyer unveils a bombshell revelation about the other individuals involved in the case. Some of them currently face open murder cases, while one has been charged with criminal attempt to commit murder. These shocking details contextualize the plea agreement reached in YFN Lucci's case, as it becomes evident that there was a lot more going on in that particular area at the time. The lawyer emphasized the importance of considering YFN Lucci's age and clean criminal record. At just 32 years old, he stands before the court without any prior convictions. The lawyer argues that this fact, coupled with the complexities of the case, warrants a request for first offender status. They explain the logistics behind this request, highlighting the potential benefits it could bring to YFN Lucci's future. First offender status, as the lawyer explains, would act as a double-edged sword. It would incentivize YFN Lucci to stay on the right path, knowing that any misstep could have severe consequences. However, it would also provide him with opportunities in his profession as a professional entertainer. The lawyer emphasizes the importance of international travel for YFN YFN Lucci's career, as a felony conviction would severely limit his ability to perform in different venues and enter into contracts with morality clauses. The judge then delivered his judgment.
For count 69, Mr. Bennett, violation of the Street Gang Act, your sentence is 20 years to serve 10 years with the balance on probation. All other counts will be null prost.
YFN would be serving a third of his sentence, which amounted to approximately 3.5 months. Lucci would be eligible for parole. This meant that he had the opportunity to reintegrate into society sooner than expected. However, it was important to note that the road to parole would not be easy. Before he was sentenced, YFN Lucci was allowed to make a statement where he apologized to everyone involved and sent his condolences to Adams, who died on the day of the shooting that instigated the whole event.
First off, I want to say my heart goes out to my friend James Adams and his family. Also, I want to apologize to my family and my friends for putting them through this stressful process. And I would also like to apologize to the court.
YFN Lucci versus Young Thug. To understand the circumstances that led YFN Lucci to this point, we have to first understand his beef with Young Thug. It all started back in 2017 when Young Thug took to Twitter to make a bold claim. On June 18th, he tweeted, "I dropped EBBTG on 2-pack SB Day because I'm the #NewPack. I feel like I'm the thug he didn't get to become," along with the hashtag #SoHimGoAndFinish what he started. This tweet immediately caught the attention of YFN Lucci, who took offense to Young Thug dropping Tupac's name. YFN Lucci wasted no time in responding. On the same day, he fired back with a tweet that read, "Pac would have never wore a dress," followed by a clown emoji. This was a direct reference to Young Thug's 2016 mixtape Jeffrey, where he appeared on the cover wearing a dress designed by Italian designer Alessandro Trinconi. The controversial cover sparked a lot of debate and divided opinions among fans and critics. Young Thug, never one to back down from a confrontation, responded to YFN Lucci's tweet in a series of messages. He vaguely threatened YFN Lucci's life, writing, "Thank God you able to take care of your mama and be humble. Doing too much could become a deep sleep." These words sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, as it seemed like the beef was escalating to a dangerous level. The exchange of tweets between YFN Lucci and Young Thug quickly gained traction and became the talk of the town. Fans and media outlets were eager to see how this feud would unfold. The tension between the two rappers continued to grow, with each of them taking shots at the other on social media. YFN Lucci, not one to back down from a challenge, decided to take the beef to another level. On June 16th, 2017, which would have been Tupac's 46th birthday, YFN Lucci dropped a new single titled Like Pac. This move was seen as a direct response to Young Thug's claims of being the new Pac. YFN Lucci wanted to make it clear that he believed Tupac's legacy should not be taken lightly or used for self-promotion. The release of Like Pac further fueled the fire of their feud. Fans and critics were divided, with some applauding YFN Lucci for standing up for Tupac's legacy, while others criticized him for using the beef as a marketing strategy. The song received mixed reviews, but there was no denying that it added fuel to the already intense rivalry between YFN Lucci and Young Thug. Throughout the rest of 2017, the beef between YFN Lucci and Young Thug continued to simmer. Both rappers took shots at each other in interviews and on social media, keeping the feud alive in the public eye. However, as 2018 rolled around, it seemed like the tension between them had started to fade. In 2018, both YFN Lucci and Young Thug were featured on Atlanta rapper T.I.'s album, Dime Trap. This collaboration raised eyebrows and led many to believe that the beef had been squashed. However, it soon became clear that the truce was only temporary, as the feud reignited with even more intensity in March 2019. The beef between YFN Lucci and Young Thug reached a boiling point when Young Thug went on Instagram Live and made a direct threat towards YFN Lucci. On March 21st, 2019, during the live video, a fan asked Young Thug about YFN Lucci, to which he responded, "Of course, I'ma slap the hell out y'all, little man. Stop playing with me." This statement sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community once again, as it seemed like the beef had taken a dangerous turn. YFN Lucci, never one to back down from a challenge, responded with an Instagram Live video of his own. In the video, he used an offensive gay slur and boldly declared that Young Thug ain't slapping nobody. This exchange of videos only fueled the fire of their feud, with fans and media outlets eagerly awaiting the next move from both rappers. The tension between YFN Lucci and Young Thug continued to escalate as the back-and-forth exchanges on social media became more intense. YFN Lucci's friend, rapper Sauce Walka, also got involved in the feud. He shared a video of Young Thug doing boxing training and captioned it with an emoji of a dancing woman and the word #slap, seemingly implying that Young Thug couldn't fight. Young Thug, never one to back down from a challenge, took to Instagram Instagram once again to reiterate his threat towards YFN Lucci.
Stop playing, slap the shit out your little. As soon as I see you, like I said, bust it.
He stated, "I'ma slap the shit out of you as soon as I see you, like I said." He also boasted about the cost of his teeth, claiming they were worth more than YFN Lucci's life. The tension between the two rappers had reached an all-time high, and it seemed like their feud was far from over. The back-and-forth exchanges on social media continued, with both YFN Lucci and Young Thug exchanging disparaging remarks and escalating threats. The intensity of their feud was palpable, and fans were left wondering if it would ever come to a peaceful resolution. As the beef between YFN Lucci and Young Thug continued to escalate, it became clear that their feud was not just about personal differences, but also about their reputations and standing within the hip-hop community. Both rappers were determined to assert their dominance and prove themselves as the superior artist. The involvement of Sauce Walka added another layer of complexity to the beef. His video of Young Thug doing boxing training seemed to imply that Young Thug couldn't fight, further fueling the rivalry between the two camps. The tension between YFN Lucci, Young Thug, and Sauce Walka created a toxic atmosphere within the hip-hop community, with fans and industry insiders taking sides and fueling the fire. The threats being thrown back and forth between YFN Lucci and Young Thug became increasingly intense. Young Thug boasted about the cost of his teeth, claiming they were worth more than YFN Lucci's life. These escalating threats not only shocked fans, but also raised concerns about the potential for violence. The beef between YFN Lucci and Young Thug had reached a point where it seemed like it could no longer be contained to social media. The tension was palpable, and fans were left wondering if this feud would escalate from threats to actual physical confrontation, and it did. While awaiting trial in the Fulton County Jail, Lucci experienced a harrowing incident that sent shockwaves through the music industry. In March, he was stabbed by a fellow inmate with a homemade shank, leaving him injured and vulnerable. The details of this stabbing incident have since come to light, revealing a disturbing reality within the confines of the correctional facility. Legal documents related to the case have shed light on the circumstances surrounding the attack. It was revealed that there was a bounty on YFN Lucci's head, making him a target for violence within the jail. This shocking revelation raises questions about the safety and security measures in place to protect inmates, especially high-profile individuals like Lucci. In an attempt to ensure his safety, YFN Lucci pleaded with the judge to sentence him to house arrest. He argued that being confined to his home would provide a safer environment and reduce the risk of further harm. However, his plea was denied, leaving him vulnerable to the dangers lurking within the walls of the Fulton County Jail. The stabbing incident has left fans and followers of YFN Lucci concerned about his well-being and the circumstances that led to such a violent act. The details surrounding the attack was investigated, and it became clear that Lucci's status as a prominent rapper played a role in making him a target. On May 9th, Young Thug was arrested and charged with a series of serious offenses, including racketeering, murder, armed robbery, and participation in criminal street gang activity. These charges have sent shockwaves through the music industry and have left fans and followers of both Young Thug and YFN Lucci in disbelief. According to court documents obtained by WSB-TV Atlanta, prosecutors believe that two associates of Young Thug, Christian Eppinger and Antonio Sumlin, worked to get Young Thug's permission to carry out a second attempt on YFN Lucci's life. This alleged involvement of Young Thug and his associates has added a new layer of complexity to the case and has raised questions about the extent of their influence and control within the criminal underworld. Gunna, another affiliate of Young Thug's crew, Young Slime Life, YSL, has also been implicated in the indictment. However, as of now, he has yet to turn himself in or be apprehended by law enforcement. Gunna's charges are less severe compared to Young Thug's, as he is only accused of conspiring to violate the RICO Act. The involvement of multiple individuals associated with Young Thug has raised suspicions about the extent of their involvement in criminal activities. The ongoing legal proceedings surrounding Young Thug and his associates have garnered significant attention from the media and the public. The charges they are facing carry severe penalties, including the possibility of lengthy prison sentences. The outcome of these proceedings will have far-reaching implications not only for Young Thug and his associates, but also for the broader music industry. Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, has vehemently denied any wrongdoing on his client's part. In a brief statement to the press, Steele stated, "I'll tell you the response to any allegation. Mr. Williams committed no crime whatsoever, and we will fight to my last drop of blood to clear him. The upcoming court proceedings will determine the truth behind these allegations and will shed further light on the events leading up to YFN Lucci's stabbing." However, a YouTuber, King Act 47, has his own version of events. According to him,
YFN Lucci told the medical examiner people when he went to the med pod for the stabbing, him and dude got caught with a sharp object, right? He stood up, "I feel like killing this nigga," drew all type of attention, right?
And if you know how jail works, that is not how you comport yourself. You definitely do not want to draw attention towards you like that. As far as jail is concerned, you are supposed to keep quiet and let the investigators come and clear the things up. So, this attention drew the guards who came with tasers and all, then took him to the examiner. According to King Ack, he voluntarily gave up the information that he had been stabbed before.
Lucci got treated for his wound. He voluntarily brought up, by the way, I was stabbed before in February.
He then went on to comment about how all of his claims just sounded fishy and were an attempt for him to get out of jail. Young Thug is also currently in his own hot water. According to prosecutors, Young Thug is accused of renting a 2014 Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz Rental Car Company, which was later used in the commission of a murder. The victim, Donovan Thomas Jr., was a rival gang member who lost his life in January 2015. The alleged connection between Young Thug and this heinous crime has sent shockwaves through the music industry and has left fans and followers of the rapper in disbelief. The details surrounding the murder case are still being investigated, and the upcoming court proceedings will shed further light on the evidence against Young Thug. If found guilty, he could face severe consequences, including a lengthy prison sentence. The impact of these allegations on the ongoing legal proceedings cannot be understated, as they add a new layer of complexity and potential severity to Young Thug's case. The emergence of these additional allegations has sparked discussions about the potential involvement of Young Thug in criminal activities beyond the scope of the current charges. It raises questions about the extent of his influence within the criminal underworld and the potential impact of his actions on the broader music industry. The allegations of Young Thug's involvement in the murder case from 2015 have also brought attention to the broader issue of violence within the rap community. It highlights the dangers associated with rivalries and the potential consequences that can arise from such conflicts. The impact of these allegations extends beyond the legal proceedings, as they contribute to a larger conversation about the role of violence in the music industry. Young Thug's legal team, led by attorney Brian Steele, continues to maintain his innocence. Steele has stated, "Mr. Williams committed no crime whatsoever, and we will fight to my last drop of blood to clear him." The upcoming court proceedings will provide an opportunity for Young Thug's defense to present their case and challenge the allegations made against him. The impact of these additional allegations on the ongoing legal proceedings cannot be underestimated. They have the potential to significantly alter the trajectory of Young Thug's case and may result in additional charges and consequences. The outcome of the court proceedings will not only determine Young Thug's fate, but will also have broader implications for the perception of the rap industry and its association with criminal activities. That brings us to the end of this video. For more videos like this, click on the cards on your screen.